What I want to do is show the patina and the dirt and whatnot that's developed on this knife in various tests. It actually came to me in really good shape, so most of this is stuff that I've got on there from various different things I did with it. And all I did during the process was just wipe it off about as clean as you could in the field, paper towel or whatever I had. But I didn't use any chemicals or any polishing or anything like that to try to remove it as I went, because I figured you couldn't do that in the field, or wouldn't do that in the field. So now what I want to try to do is see if I can get it as close as I can to the original condition of the knife as you would receive it after the use that has been given by me and several other people. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to try to start to clean that blade with is a product called Flitz. It's a paste. I don't know if you can see that too good or not. This is a pretty big can of it. You can get in a pretty small tube too. I think it's less than 4 ounces even or something. This is expensive. This can was over $40, just about a quart, but you use it very sparingly on this kind of thing, and it usually does a really good job, so it's worth the money. Say you can get a considerably smaller can of it and probably have enough to last you for whatever you really want to do. But I'm just going to dab a little bit of it on an old rag and then just work on it one side at a time. And you can see it's just if you can see, it's like a purple paste. It's pretty light paste. And I'm just going to work it on the steel of the blade. This will at least get some of it off as a starting point at least. Don't expect it to be perfect, because this knife has been pretty well used by me and others. See, I'm getting some of it. I think I'll go ahead and swing it over and get both sides of this thing done while I'm at it. And this takes a little work, so what I'll do is turn the video off for a little bit, because I'm going to be working on this for a while, and see how close I can get. I won't do anything to it other than use this, and then we'll show it again. So I have to stand by a minute. Okay, well I only spent 3 or 4 minutes at best polishing that while the video was off, and I hope you can see it. I'm seeing it in the viewfinder, how clean that is now and shiny, and it's really about as close to being back to as original as it's ever going to get, I would think. All the patina, if you will, and stains and dirt, for the most part, are off the knife now. I wouldn't be embarrassed to send that to the next guy looking just like it is. I don't know that I'll use any other cleaning methods on it. I was going to try something else if it was a little stubborn. I've used this and I've videoed this before. It's called a super eraser, and for knives and other things like that. It's basically an eraser, and it literally, I mean, I've really knocked some stuff off knives before, including minor rust and so on, but this knife I think is good enough. And the super eraser actually kind of leaves a dull finish, which is fine, but this one is polished up so good right now with the Flitz that I think I'll just leave it like that. So that'll be about it probably for the cleaning. I may do it again if I do something else with the knife. Now this is still pretty sharp, but it's not any longer scooter sharp. There's just no question about that. It's pretty darn good considering what various different people have put it through. Not sure if anybody's tried to put an edge back on it to any extent. I think somebody might have mentioned putting it through a wood sharp, which I'm going to do just on a buffing grit really. It'll help it a little bit, but I'm really not going to attempt to sharpen it on that. Another thing that I do use, and I bought this from Dan Coppins at the NRA convention in St. Louis. It's a BHK Outdoors product. If you can see that, it's a strop really. He's got a piece of leather under the fine sandpaper and has held it on with these office supplies really, but it works super well. And you got another piece of leather on the back that you can take this and just strop it on and kind of knock off any burrs that might still be on it. Yeah, it's really not too bad. That actually feels like it's a little bit better, just that quick bit that I did there. This sandpaper is good on top of that leather because it'll actually move for these edges. Let's give it a couple of quick passes there to kind of demonstrate that, but yeah, that's really pretty sharp still. I'll just knock this strop a couple more times. I mean, it doesn't really get much simpler than that, and this is a little device you can carry with you. It doesn't weigh anything. I've actually got one it's only about this long from them also, that just has the strop, just has the leather piece on it that I carry in a backpack just to kind of touch them up. Because it's so small you don't even notice that you've got it with you. But that's not too bad. I still think I'll give it a little pass through the work sharp, so I'll come back to that. Okay, I've got the work sharp set up, and you may not be able to hear me with this running. In fact, I'm going to try to pull it up here and hold it by hand. I know some of you guys have got these, I know for sure, and those of you that don't, I know BHK Outdoors does sell these also, competitive price. It's a handheld sharpening system that uses sandpaper, if you will, on a belt, and there's various different grits. This is the very lightest one. It's not going to do really a lot of sharpening, but it'll polish it up good, and it'll give a little edge. So here we go. Yeah, that is as close to scooter sharp as you're going to get in this kind of environment. I just don't think you'll get much more than that out of it. Look at the other side real quick. That, I think, is as good as I'm going to take it. If they want it sharper than that, I think they'll have to send it back to BHK, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, now one more thing I want to do is, I heard several people talking about that they thought it felt just a little loose in the sheath, and it does, but I mean, it's not going to come out, and it might be just slightly loose in there. There's quite a bit of snugness once you get it kind of pushed down in there, but this won't hurt anything, and it'll actually protect the sheath, the leather, and it might allow me to more or less wet form it around that knife a little bit, just up in there to tighten it down. And what I'm going to put on there is a product called Snow Seal. It's for leather boots or leather treatment. It's going to waterproof that sheath. It is going to darken it down just slightly, but it's also going to soften the leather at least for a little bit, and I'm going to try to just press it down around the knife just a little bit. You can see that it already is. Well, I don't know if you can see it in the video. Yeah, I think maybe in that angle you can see it a little bit. It has some of that to it now. I mean, it looks like it's wet formed a little bit, and it's maybe somebody did that along the way, but it's relatively snug in there. But we're going to do it just for protection, and maybe to try to knock that down just a a little bit, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on my finger, and then I'll use a rag after that. But I'm trying to hold this up and do this and kind of show you. It's just a paste. We used to put stuff like this on baseball gloves. It's probably designed for waterproofing boots, really, but I've seen a lot of guys use it for exactly this. If there was any little blemishes on the sheath, it kind of helps you kind of rub those out. You don't need to use very much of this stuff. I'm gonna get it on this fire steel ring too. You just work it in just a little bit. Make sure you cover everything, because like I say, it is going to darken the leather just a little, not a lot, but it really protects it. I like to put it up here on these kind of exposed edges because it seals that raw leather pretty good and protects that from cracking so fast. I like to put it on the rough cut leather too, because it kind of does the same thing. That part of it will want some because it is dry already. And you can see it. You can almost feel it in your hand working in these areas that are exposed like that. The rough side of the leather doesn't hurt anything. I'll wipe it all off. Get up underneath this loop a little bit. Well, there, I think you get the idea. I can sit and work this in a little bit more and make sure I get it all in there and everything covered, so you don't have a spot that looks too light for the others. Okay, I think you get the idea there. Now I'm gonna wipe it down, put that knife in there real quick, and just pinch it down on there and see if I can just improve it just slightly. I'll come back to you. Okay guys, one more thing. I got to thinking that there's going to be a lot of people that would want to use this for cutting meat and might have some thoughts about flits being left over or still being on this knife. And I wiped it about as clean as you humanly can, but I've got another product here that I want to put on there. It's actually a good rust preventative and lubrication, and it's edible, so you don't have to worry about using it if you're going to skin game with this or not. I just got the lid off of it here, but this is in. A lot of you guys know about this product, but this is called Frog Lube, and I've got an 8-ounce tub of it here, and it literally is an edible lubrication and cleaning paste and rust preventative product. So it's going to help clean it a little bit more and stop it from rusting. And you literally can take this product and eat it, so you don't have to, and it smells good, so you don't have to worry about that, and it'll be a little better for the knife too. So try to keep this in the frame for you here a little bit, and it's just a green paste, and I'm just gonna put it on this knife, and this will give it a final cleaning and polishing, and removing any chance maybe down in those grooves or something of some flits being left on there, because you don't want to eat that. And this will protect it from rusting. This is 01, so it's something you need to do. This product actually works itself down into the metal. You guys read up on this that aren't familiar with it. Frog Lube. It's not expensive at all. I think I only gave $10 shipped from Bowtech Tactical, if I recall, for that. And I am seeing just a little dirt on my rag, so I'm getting a little more off of there than what we had already. And this, I promise you, is not toxic. A good way to prevent any rust from forming on the knife, and still be able to take it right straight to the dinner table. I could literally leave it caked on like that, and you'd not have a problem but I'll get it wiped down real good so that no one will have to worry, and the knife will be better for it, about any remnants of a harsher cleaner like the Flitz, which did a remarkable job of getting the knife in the shape it's in. So there you go, just one more product. Again, it's Frog Lube that comes in I think you can get it in 4-ounce paste, but this is an 8-ounce tub. They also have a liquid version of it, which I have not used, but this is for your guns, but also for your knives or any metal you want to prevent some rust on. So there you go.